Hello, Capricorn. Sorry for the delay. I had contracts here this morning. The power was off, so I was unable to come to you guys live. So, glitches in the system. Now, I am Yildiz from Yildiz Readings 5D. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame reader, and I connect the astrology into the actual reads. Now, I'll try and do mid-months as well. I'm going to focus on just in general the energies that are coming through. And again, I will come to you live for those. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome into the house. Now, your energy, I pulled the cards, and there's an interesting energy coming through. One of the things is sometimes when I pull the cards, before I've even looked at them, I'm getting a download of what's going on with you guys. Hi, Margaret. Welcome. Now, the one thing, big shout out to all of you in America with the hurricane. My thoughts and love and prayers are with you guys. And I hope you're all safe. You know, I know it's a very unpredictable situation at the moment. So I've been keeping tabs on it, and my thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Now, with your read, we do have Saturn going direct as of the 18th. And I was trying to tune into the energy. Now, obviously for this month, what I'm feeling energetically for a healing stone is amethyst. Now, this is to open your crown chakra. There can be a lot of distortion going on in the first 2 weeks of September. I tried to get these videos done well ahead of time, but this energy in general is going to resonate for the entirety of the month. Do also, and it's very hard unless you actually know your chart and how it relates to you, it's difficult because sometimes you will be dealing with more a 3D in a relationship setting. You need to look at your Venus house. You know, because as you evolve, you can be in your shadow aspect. It'll be your shadow sign. Otherwise, you'll need to get a personal reading. But the one energy that's really coming through very strongly, and this could be the energy of our downloads we've had because we've had retrograde planets. Capricorn at the moment is in Saturn, Pluto as well. So, you know, what needs to end, what needs to change, it's really fatigued a lot of people collectively, and I do need to do a TF update as well very separately. The one thing with your financial sector, the things you're working on, it's a really interesting energy. And the first card that came out was attracting, not chasing, and I wasn't feeling the vibe as well. I wasn't feeling the vibe with it being upright. And the reason being is it's almost like you're to the point you don't know what to believe in. And it can be the fatigue of the retrogrades and the things you've been dealing with at a very 3D level. So spiritually, emotionally, physically, you've got more energy, don't get me wrong, but it's what to place that energy into. That's what's really been coming through. What do you place your energy to? What do you put your back into? What do you put your strength into? This is in every area of life in general. So it's a pause. You've got the energy, but you don't want to waste it. And I'm hearing you don't want to waste anyone's time, including your own. Now, the first moon phase for you guys, what will be highlighted in the Pisces moon, when I say at a collective level, overall being the 12th house, it heightens your intuition. In your chart, however, what will come up is communication, self-expression, and short journeys. And we do look at it, you know, you're going to have to come from your conscious mind of being very adult, okay? Because a lot of people might not be feeling that vibe, what with all the retrogrades. It can be a point where we can be quite triggered, okay? People might not be seeing eye to eye, but I'm seeing you keeping your cards quite close to your chest, but you're doing what you feel's right. You're following your hunch, and I feel it's hunter-gatherer mode, okay? You got the Panther. At night time, you might be doing a lot of meditation. You may be thinking about what way to go. You're rising above situations in your life. You can say things, but you're choosing not to at this point. You know that you need to rise above this situation and allow it to heal, okay? You've got eagle medicine. I don't think this is completely just about you. This is external situations. This can be your work, your romance, in general, the way you're operating is you're trying to, and it doesn't have to be that you're taking the mature approach. You're not entertaining BS. You have no time for BS. You're removing yourself from certain situations. You're observing the scenarios too. But look at the way the panther's in the tree. It's like looking down at a situation. You have the power to cut. And when I say, I mean, cut people off where they're just entertaining BS. Again, both cards are risen above a situation. Now, although this highlights your communication house, it can be things coming towards you and you're thinking, I don't think you really want to know what I think. But I just feel a silence, and I'm going to pull a chakra card on that. I feel a silence as though you're getting to a point. You're not saying anything, but you could say a whole lot. Now, it could be people that are being quite cold towards you, or in general, you're cold towards these scenarios that no longer resonate with you. Again, self-expression, falling into your communication house. Both cards are blue. Even the eagle medicine is blue, which is communication. But it can be sharp communication. So be mindful of it. But if you're needing to, it might be to shut a scenario down that needs to be finalized. With the communication, it can also be networking. Now, okay, so what they're showing me with the communication is you might have been waiting for some information to come. Some of you are dealing with the legality. And I'm seeing it being quite a harsh energy, but it's gearing up, ready to tie up. That's what I'm saying. These chapters that you're ending, you've had an absolute enough. Like, you're trying to end these chapters. And this, again, could have been from the eclipses, where it could be errands, running errands. The Virgo energy was really coming through, where it was trying to get things tidy, get things in order. Look at the black and white of scenarios. And I really feel as though from last month all the way to here, and including the eclipses, because the eclipses, when we have an eclipse, the energy stays for 6 months. So the transitional state we go through is 6 months. Now, this month, Juno is making a very interesting aspect. And again, there's certain planets and asteroids, when I look at them as karmic-related dynamics, and that's both Saturn, Pluto, and definitely Juno. Juno is correcting scenarios, especially connected to romance. By the Aries moon, not Aries moon, that's next month. And I can tell you what house is highlighted for you. By the Libra moon, it's a super moon. It's going to be very strong. Now, this is your 10th house. Where have I got it? Got paperwork everywhere. Your 10th house covers your career, reputation, fame, or lack of, and other parents. So again, it can be a custodial related dynamic that you're dealing with. And really research Pelican Totem, okay? Because you've got Pelican Totem for that moon phase. Now, it will have a message for you very separately. And it is quite in depth, so I'd really need to do a video separately. It's saying let go of your judgment. Again, when you look at the Libran energy, it is a balancing. But at the same time, there's two sides to every story, and I feel yours hasn't been heard. And it's interesting that the communication factor, it might be one person's hearing one side of the story, but there's another side to the story. You've got storyteller. But it's also, if you feel your life is going to remain this way, no, it's not. Especially with that frequency at the moment, we've felt quite like, is this a forever situation? 2018 was very heavy for particular pockets of people. A lot more people are doing a shift in their energy field and their life where it feels like a spiritual recession, like a shake-up in society, and that's because of the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn. A lot of the subject matters that we have been relating to have been old storylines, things that we want to change, and trying to balance those things out with this changing cycle. And as much as I don't want to just use the astrology, look at things in the news that are happening. And I mean, I don't tend to watch the news as much because I'm always busy, to be quite honest, but I do try and keep up with it. more from an understanding of, especially knowing about the astrology, how you're visually seeing these changes happen external to you. You're going to notice synchronistic patterns occurring very much in your own life as well, with your friends, family, work colleagues, love interests. Now, when I say this card, it is heart chakra. So something that you are quite passionate about. Okay. You don't need to be perfect, okay? You may be taking on too many burdens of a past tense scenario and owning it. Now, with Chiron being in Aries, I look at this as the lotus flower. So when I'm saying that, I'll link it back to what it's trying to tell me. And next month, in October, you do have the Aries moon, and Chiron is in Aries. So we are looking at things very much how we had a part in a situation. And that's good. But also it can be bad at times if we're owning too much of the ownership, where it takes two to tango. You may be empathically finding compassion for another person beyond the point where it's directly affecting you. Now, with your career, you're going to see a situation that's playing out, and with the retrograde planets, it's almost like a magnifying glass going backwards. In theory, we think we're not going forwards. We are. When we're working on our career, what we find is we find snags in the plan, okay? So it's like an instrument you're fine-tuning. You'll either resonate with your career, or you physically won't any longer, or you will see what you need to do to change that dynamic to get a better scenario out of it, where the growth was unable to go. Now, with Jupiter, it will be physically direct, and it already is now. Uranus is going retrograde. So with that in mind, you will start having physical forward movement in all aspects and facets of life. It's going to be lighter, but we're getting used to the frequency of these planets with the ebbs and flows, both with Saturn and Pluto. We have now adjusted to it. But there's sharp trigger points and sharp shifts and changes that it's almost the exhausted point you're getting to, because you're like, what's next? It's a bit like getting knocked down and you've adjusted to it and your frequency's risen, but you're like, do I stay down? Because am I going to go down? Do I get back up? Not quite sure how to, proceed forward. But by mid-month, I feel you guys are playing over a storyline and seeing another person's perspective, but you still have your perspective to find peace with, so you can communicate that effectively. The harsh energies that potentially have been around you are due to the astrology. We all are in trigger mode. So we can be very frank with the way we're speaking. And sometimes the cross wires can occur, and it can appear like an egoic state. I don't feel this is what's going on though, and I'm going to pull clarifiers. Yeah, you're needing time away from a scenario. The time away might be that you're physically going on holiday, or you're just stepping back from the scenario, okay? Now, this is about to change because this is a number 5 card. So when it comes to mid-month, where your career sector is activated, you're going to pause and meditate and tune into what you've learned so far. You're then going to tackle it in a sense where you're going to look at it, and it could be a tribe mentality. You could be working in a team, you could be dealing with team, and there could have been a lot of things really coming at you. The colors that are oozing off this tree at the moment, the red's really popping out to me, which is a foundational related dynamic. Unless the foundation's correct, so there might be some things that you need to look at in that. It could be at home, but very separately, it could be the foundation of the working environment and the team orientation going on. Something in your career is shifting though, and it is for the better. I'm not seeing a negative energy. You're disappointed though. You know, you might have, a scenario might have played out in the last few months where you were helping somebody. And this could be a story for just a very small pocket of you, but this message is coming through where potentially you helped a friend or a work colleague, and it may have affected the way other people looked at you instead of them. So the correction of that is being balanced out, and I do feel you guys have good karma coming. A family-related dynamic as well is going to reach a point where it's going to need to be balanced. So this energy is gearing up, ready to be resolved. Yeah, you're being very realistic and decisive. It's like I'm seeing a sword cutting to the chase, cutting to the core of what the issue is. You're being very realistic and decisive. You know, you had your meditation, you know, with it in this way, and you were looking at all the scenarios, and now you're reaching a point where you're going, look, I know what to do. You're going to have the clarity by mid-month how to rectify the scenarios that have been playing out in your life. Now, when we move into the energy of your career, finances, and things you're working on. As I said, the first card that came through, I wasn't connecting with it, and I'm tuning into the actual card. And I'll point out to you the scenarios that are playing out on this. Now, again, notice the purple. Now, try and hold it as steady as possible. Now, there's a Leo sitting on, no, I could say a fence, but it's not a fence. Upright, okay? It's higher up and it's looking down. There are people in a canoe at the bottom with candles. Now, it's like somebody's trying to show you something. This can be an old scenario. You have the strength, and it's interesting because your first card at the beginning of the month is Panther, which is still a strong species. It's sitting there, right? And everyone down here saying, come on, we're moving. We're doing what we need to do. You're pausing. You're like, I'm not wasting my energy. I'm assessing this scenario before I jump in the deep end. I really want to know whether it's worth my energy. So you're assessing dynamics both on a working level, at an energetic level. Do I waste my time on these things that I'm looking at right now? So I'm seeing you pause. You can attract great things, but you're cautious as to what you're attracting because you do believe that you do get what you deserve. But at the same time, you're like, look, I've learned a lot of lessons here. I'm not being fooled. I'm assessing. And this can be, I'll count how many people in this. This is 3 people. What's pulling the canoe is 2 turtles. So it has been quite slow. This scenario playing out for you has felt very slow, and it can be something you've been working on for a very long time. Building your career, changing, evolving, spiritually growing. It's going slow, and this, again, could be you tried 2 different ways, and now you're pausing to assess the scenario. You do have your guides protecting you based on this, okay? So there is an angel that is standing directly behind the Leo. And this is representing you currently in a strength setting, especially with the eagle medicine and the panther. You're looking at it. You're not even fussed if you miss the boat because you know you will know the right time, and I feel you'll bounce on it. But something is having light shed on it for you to have this realization. You're at peace during this process because you're assessing. It's like a test, and I said this to Giggle yesterday because I really do need to do a collective energy update. And the way very similar to Capricorn, is very similar to what a lot of us are going through. We're like, pause. And there's a lot of tests going on. It may be like a little black book or a scale where you're weighing up the pros and cons of scenarios and gaining information like a barrister or a lawyer. or a judge rather. You're like, look, I've gained a lot of information with the retrograde. I've definitely regressed back over storylines, and I've been testing scenarios, and you're gaining the information. You understand people's perspectives. You're great management material, but all work, no play. You want some enjoyment out of these things, or you just can't be bothered to invest in it. It's just not going to be worth it for you. And this is really where we're all shifting to. And this is why it's so hard. We're questioning our intuition. Yet, interestingly enough, the Pisces energy coming through at the beginning of the month is saying, go into your crown chakra, trust your intuition. So it's almost like the storyline that's playing out. What you sense versus what you're seeing isn't matching. Keep that in mind, okay? What you're sensing versus what you're seeing, you can't comprehend why it's not matching. You're like, okay, but that's not how you make cake. It's like scrambling eggs and people saying they're making cake. And you're looking at it going, that's not how you make cake. Look, I know. Is that, you get my point. Let go of guilt, which come through by mid-month, okay? People are telling you you're running out of time. What are you doing? Why are you investing in the scenario? Why are you thinking about this? This can be your business. This can be a person. You're under the pump. Some of you may have two energies that you're caring for. This could be a single parent. This could be two children connected to a past tense connection. For some of you, not all of you. But there are guides around you. And it's interesting that the yellow is coming up down here, right? The clock is behind her head. And again, she's got a golden glow above her crown. You feel you will know exactly when to react. And do please trust that, because I really feel you are going to know that. You're also hearing things through the grapevine. And if this isn't happening yet, it's coming. There's two birds either side. Again, one on the crown and one towards the left ear. Some of these plans and some of these financial things of what you're trying to achieve, you have full intent to have more balance by the end of the year. It's like there's no ifs and buts about it. You don't want to remain your energy where it currently is right now. Once you get this information and you're moving on it, this has been coming up too. You can't be bothered to talk about something that hasn't changed, right? So I don't feel that you're complaining. I literally feel you're tired of the same subject matter, and unless it's evolved, it's just not okay. And it's not that you have to change that person, place, or thing. You're just starting to energetically raise your vibration where you're proceeding forward, okay? There is an innocence about this scenario, and it's interesting because the child is actually holding a halo, but the halo actually looks like a nest, so something's about to come out. I feel you will be at peace providing the people change, okay? Again, if this scenario evolves, you're okay with that. You don't want to hear about it anymore. You just want to move forward. This can be with a person. This can be within your career, the things you're investing, your finances, though. Even that, you're like, this, I'm only putting energy in to A, grow, and B, move towards my target and my goal. That's really what's coming through. Now, there's two rabbits in this. And I'm hearing a subject matter of April for you guys. But you also don't want to feel like a fool. I feel by mid-month, what's coming through with this card is You feel more in alignment. A song is going to come on, and very shortly after, I feel you're going to have some sense of communication. If you guys have been waiting on a contract, I'm being shown that there will be music to your ears and you will actually have this by mid-month, and it's been long waiting. Some of these things that you had wanted to achieve at a financial level, if you're tying up loose ends in a sense of having a separation, waiting for the money to be balanced out on both sides of the fence, there's a potential that this can be happening as well. I'm also being shown a painting. Now, this can be your artistic endeavors. It could be your creative endeavors. It also can be something that you look at while you're thinking. That painting may belong to a loved one who's passed over, or it might have been gifted to you from somebody. For those of you who this message is relevant, that person, if they've passed over, their energy is actually protecting you. If you've been concerned as to wonder if they are okay with some of your decision making, the answer is yes, they're behind you. But they also have the faith in you that you're able to achieve these things. I feel you guys need to remove yourself. There's going to be a moment this month where it might feel a bit overwhelming. And it's at a temporary level. It's nothing major, but it's just your fatigue, your frustration. I'm seeing you needing to retreat because you're carrying too much. In order to gain that clarity and pace, I'm seeing you getting into Mother Nature. And be it you need to take your shoes off or you need to drop your responsibilities for 2.5, I'm seeing you're very capable. Now, look how she's holding the world, but it's only with one hand. So again, it may be that in order to gain clarity on what's going on in your world and find more peace and clarity, you need to get connected to Mother Nature. Some of you have had no time to do the hobbies you were doing, okay? And it might be a shift all of a sudden where you just need to go for a walk or you feel you want to get connected with Mother Nature. The card is saying exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. More of what's coming through with this is that in order for you to have light shed on the situation, I feel you've been playing the same story over and over again of these problems that's been coming up. I feel if you remove yourself from the direct environment, like I said, even if it's just for 2.5, and don't think about it at all, and just enjoy the fresh air, the tuning out, and allowing yourself to do that, I feel you will know what to do, and it's going to give you a solution, but it's in the space away from the environment. One thing will have to be dropped, okay? One thing that you feel for the life of you, and it could be even the tuning into the scenario at work, with your money, with your plans moving forward. There is a toxic situation, but you're no longer willing to entertain it. It needs to evolve itself. Now, your home front. Some of you feel there is an energy at the moment that needs to be purged out of the home. It might have been if you've been in hermit mode meditating, you need to get the fresh air moving through the house to regenerate that energy. I'm not feeling poverty when it comes. Hi, Dale. When it comes to the home, but this is what the card's saying. But again, this is what I mean by the way we tune in. I'm feeling as though the frequency is making you feel fatigued and psychically attacked. So the home environment needs to be cleared. You may have had some fights at the home. This can even be via telephone towards a person. Your thought processes might have been quite boggled and backwards to a point that continuous vibration has been entering into the home. Now, I'm seeing a need for it to be cleared and cleansed before the 18th. As soon as possible, really. But definitely, yet again, by mid-month, for Saturn going direct, okay? I'm seeing new life being breathed into this home. But once that shift happens, I think you're going to be too busy. So if you are at home at the moment and you've got the downtime to clear out clutter, get that done. Also get on top of the paperwork. I feel they're really shifting energetically. Okay, let's tune into your romance house. Again, very similar energy to what's going on. Those of you who aren't in contact, okay, I'll relate it this way. You feel as though you're waiting. But again, I feel something will change again by the Libra moon, because we have the timer. What do you call it? The sands, the hourglass. It's you're focusing in the mirror and you feel you're stuck, right? Because it's almost like it's not going left, it's not going right. You're focusing on your finances, you're focusing on how much energy you put into this. You're reflecting back, but so is this person. Both of you simultaneously are doing this, but you're also looking at your foundation directly in life. Even if you're in this connection right now, you're doing a similar thing. You're looking at your foundation, you're looking at the stagnation, you're temporarily delaying before you can proceed forward. It can get a bit frustrating and heated. There's 9 coins on the card. Now, when we see 9, it reminds me of hermit mode. But again, stagnation. But it's not that the stagnation isn't serving a purpose. It actually is. It's evolving. There is a lot of independent energy between both parties at the moment. And the advice that's coming through at the heart of the matter is look at the reasons why that is so. And it's not that it's right or wrong. But also, if you're not in contact, there is something at an independent level that you guys both are dealing with very separately for this to balance out. And again, I'm saying base chakra, a foundational related issue. Okay? Both of you are trying to shift your life and manifest. Now, 7 has been coming through this month quite a bit. 111, 177, 7711. It's keep your energy positive. Now, again, this message did come through in your general section with your career and your finances and things you're working on. Getting to a point, because home popped into my head, which is interesting because home is base chakra, family, the nodes being in Cancer, family, tribe, the people we interact with. Now, on a manifestation level, even this card is red. Check the foundation, the manifestation will be physically feasible. The ego might be telling you that because nothing's moving, it means nothing's shifting. Shift energetically happens vibrationally, then directly externally. In your head, you could be looking at things going, look, people may be projecting at you. A person that you're dealing with could be super jealous, okay? You could also be tuning into that coming through you and why this is happening, why you're wanting something. But I feel this is another person's energy being projected towards you and you're thinking on it. It might have been something you did to cause that factor. That's only for some of you. But at the same time, this energy is going over in your mind. The things you're tuning into outside is where the imbalances and the unreliability was, where you had invested, but again, the foundation and scenarios weren't balanced. You could be, for those of you in a couple, really tuning into these external environments right now, and they're impacting your auric field. So you're trying to find a solution to actually balance these scenarios out. It can be a slowdown effect, and you see every party's point of view, but you need to get to a balance where you can actually move this ship forward. Your love interest partnered energy, again, in their head, they're really tapping into their spirituality. They want to take this connection to the next level, but very much what they're focused on is their beliefs, their faith, and their spirituality, and trying to stay sane. They're also looking at everybody's point of view. On the external, they feel they need to make a judgment based on something occurring collectively, both of you, or in general towards the scenarios that are hindering this movement forward. There also can be a legality, a court case, or something they're directly dealing with, and energies can swap, but there is that message coming through. Capricorn, in your heart space, and this did come up for another sign. It's interesting because the energy, this really, when I say the psychic card, it could be you're trusting that of what is outside you, which could be a reader, but I'm not getting that as a message. When I say the psychic card, I see the 12th house in astrology. Now, the 12th house is the Pisces energy, okay? Doesn't mean the person is a Pisces. That's not what I'm saying. Trusting what you're sensing in a download. But this is the heart space. So I feel this person already knows what this is and already saw how this scenario was going to go. And it's now happening and they're looking at things. I'm getting that, Andrew. Thank you. And I will pull a clarifier on that because it's got more to say. I'll pull these cards. I had no power this morning because they were doing electrical work, so I was unable to come to you live. I'm sorry. And I do have 2 more to do. I've got Aquarius and Pisces. I thought I was going to be more organised, but that's what happens when you're sick. Okay, so an overwhelming situation is happening, and they knew this was going to happen, but they proceeded forward anyway. Now it's a higgledy-piggledy mess, so they can't protect themselves from this. They have to move through it. It might have been something that they were hoping was going to happen to resolve the situation. Let it sit where it sits. External of what they've been putting energy into and what their concern is. They were unsure, but they did it anyway. I feel it was self-sabotage. Let me check. They've tried. That's what I'm being shown. They've tried. Something hasn't worked. Express your divine feminine. Embrace its magical intuition and nurturing. They're trying to find forgiveness, and they're getting into their emotional body now. You know, initially they were unsure. They were like, is it true? Is it not? This could be the way they feel about you if you're not in contact and connection right now. And again, the sun coming through, shining light on it, but now, you know, your head, again, the head space, look where it's at. It's in the crown. And I'm hearing head over heart. And they knew this, and they were like, no, maybe I shouldn't trust myself. So something hasn't gone so well as what they thought. So there is now the clarity of that situation to actually rectify this. Now, in your heart, and this is counterparts energy. This is for the cross watcher that's looking at Capricorn. This is how you potentially might be looking at them, that they're focused on their career, and it's interesting because their career sector is activated, and that finances are an issue. But there's also other areas that are going on, but this potentially could be the way you're viewing this scenario, and I'll pull a clarifier on it. Some of you that are not in contact, yeah, you're tuning into what you feel they're investing in. Some of you just in general felt that they invested in something incorrectly. This could be another person. And you saw how this was going to go. Others of you, this could be a work-related dynamic. So you intuitively know, as a counterpart energy, why they did something and why they're looking at scenarios now, how they're operating. Okay, so again, you are following your intuition, but it's interesting because both of you are looking at things from your crown chakra perspective. So you're going to see things very differently by mid-month. It is going to help shift this energy. It's going to help shift your perspective to gain clarity into how to balance this scenario moving forward. Some of you who are on the fence in this connection with the Capricorn, now, this is two things. You want to get out of Pandora's box or the way of the obstacles so that you can move this connection forward. Some of you also may be feeling, do I need to move forward in general? So you're a bit confused as to what to do. And I feel some of you might be on the fence. And again, these energies can swap, but this is what's coming through. Yeah, you wonder, but you don't want to go. You want this to naturally flow. But it's like two things coming through. It's almost like you're saying, can we hurry up? But do I want it? Yes, I do. No, I don't want to go. So there's a lot of confusion, and it's due to the external scenarios going on and the time frame. But it's amping up a notch to resolve. I'll pull 3 clarifiers as to what this first week is going to pull for you guys. And then I will come back after, because I will have to collect my daughter from school. Yeah, bear with me. Wrong cards. Okay, you got dreams. Again, crown chakra. You got... Communication is going to come through for many of you, and this can be on either side of the fence. In general, there is communication coming through. I feel it's by the full moon state. Now, it is coming from a male energy. You may have a dream about this person, and then very shortly after, during this phase, this is interesting. There's a circle and there's the person's face. But there are symbols of astrology at the very bottom in the fields. Now, the movement as per se, I'll show you the things I'm seeing. Different things on cards pop out to me. Now, third eye, which the psychic card came up for Capricorn. But I feel this is the male energy. Now, the third eye and the triangle upright, which is masculine frequency, male energy. Look at the astrology symbols at the bottom. Now, I feel this to be the wheel, a change in the scenario. But we're reaching the point of one of the moon phases, and I'm feeling it's a potential by mid-month, because it does look like scales, like Libra, okay? This is changing. This person's going from this. They've seen both sides to the story. Now there's movement. Now there's going to be communication because they know what to do from here. They're also having downloads, both in a dream state and from the crown chakra, which is why I pulled amethyst for this month, plus Pisces being the house of the 12th house. I'm not saying you're a Pisces. This is what the astrology does. So at the 12th house, it helps us actually sense things. They're going to see an imbalance of where not to invest in and where to change that factor, okay? An unfair scenario is going to be balanced. I'm seeing the Fool card, okay? Gut instincts in reverse. Regardless of what they're fearing, they're moving through because they've had the download. Something in their life is taking a complete 360. And it's so interesting that this has come up so many times. Look at all the cats. The Leo there, the Leo, the Panther. There's a lot of strength coming in. Get ready for it, guys. You guys are going to have massive movement. Love and light. If you're wanting a booking, the link is below. And I will see you a little bit later once my daughter's collected. I will come back for the Aquarius and Pisces video. Love and light.